Hello everyone, this is Morgan, aka Dumbhook Tarot. Today we're going to do a video about what people admire about you, or what compliments people have to give you. It's kind of a mix of both. I'm going to channel whatever comes out, but it's mostly going to be about positives, and people, what they have to say about you positively. So this is going to be group 1, this will be group 2, and that will be group 3. So I already put the timestamps below. Go ahead and click to that and we can get started on your video. Alright, hello everyone who chose group 1 or this deck, which is, I have the box, the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. I have the Radiant deck. Where's this one at? There's different ones. Okay, I'm not going to get into it. I'm already getting distracted. We're going to find out what people admire about you, or what compliments they have, and want to give you. Like I said in the intro, I'm just going to channel and see what comes out about what people have to say. And then I'm going to do a little energy check in the beginning of this video, just to check in on your energy, and so that you can decide whether this group is for you, if you can relate to what I have to say. If you don't, then, take what resonates, leave behind what doesn't. But it's also for my benefit, because I get to know your energy and I can get well acquainted with that, and then we can get started. It'll be quick, won't be long, because I don't like things to drag on either. So, Spirit, can you please connect me to group 1 and give me a card that best represents their current energy right now, please, Spirit? Please shuffle out a card that represents their group 1's current energy. I wonder if you guys have been feeling frazzled as of late, because that's the feeling I'm kind of getting right now. I'm just like, I don't even know where my mind's at. Group 1's energy, please. A card that best represents group 1's current energy, Spirit. The Strength card. This is Leo energy, fire energy. You don't have to be either of those, but the Strength card is all about perseverance, through kind of like grace, being strong-willed, and having patience. To me, this card always represents someone who is trying to do their best in a tough situation, or just trying to do their best in general, trying to let things roll off their back, not make things a super big deal, but trying to handle whatever issues or problems they may have in silence almost. But once again, this card is mostly perseverance, improving oneself and finding the best way to deal with your issues, and having the strength to do so, hence the strength. So if you're kind of feeling like that energy, this reading is definitely for you. I love the Strength card because it a lot of the time represents very tender-hearted people. Sometimes it also represents people who may struggle with their emotions or problems they're having, and they're not always going to express that. It's just like, it's almost like, a mom with 3 kids working, 2 different jobs and just trying to make it, but, she loves her kids, and so she doesn't mind doing that, anything like that. But get a little off topic. Let's get into what people admire about you, group 1. Spirit, what do friends and family and people in general admire about group 1? I'm hearing that you might have, I do. I think you have a pretty face. I heard your attractiveness might be admired a lot. I know some of you are going to be like, oh, I'm not that attractive, Morgan. I don't know what you're talking about. But don't we all kind of feel that way sometimes? Like, to those of you who are confident in yourself, like, freaking great. But, a majority of people, they struggle with their looks. And it's hard to say, when someone calls you attractive, you're like, you really think I'm attractive? And they're like, don't you know that? And you're like, no, what are you talking about? I feel like that's kind of your vibe almost. Spirit, can you please tell us what people admire about group 1. What compliments does group 1 need to hear in regards to what people admire about them? Some of you might be studious and hardworking as well. Or students. Anyway, group 1, please, Spirit. What do people admire about group 1? What do they admire about group 1? Okay. King of Wands. Not King of Wands. The Knight of Wands. I wonder why I said King of Wands. That's funny. What does, oh my gosh. My words aren't coming out today. I feel like that's how you guys are right now. Okay, let's get this straight. What do people admire about group 1, Spirit? Oh, that's a lot. Yeah, you might be a student because that card came out, but you don't have to be either because, you know, you have this Queen of Pentacles energy. I think you just have a very youthful energy about you with the, you have this duality, which we're going to get into. I love that. I love when it's never simple. You know what I mean? Like, you are a complex human being. You have many sides. You can be, you know, outgoing and crazy, and then you can be calm and introverted. It's like, I love people like that. Can you clarify the Knight of Wands, please, Spirit? Okay. We'll take them. It was the King of Swords and the Four of Cups. Can you clarify the Queen of Pentacles, please? What do people admire about group 1? Wow, that's too many. Too many. I will acknowledge that the King of Cups is here, but I don't need... There's sometimes when I get too many cards, I feel like it overcomplicates it, and I need a simple, direct answer a lot of the time. Can you please clarify? Okay, I didn't ask yet. Y'all got a lot of people's got a lot to say about you guys. Can you please clarify the Hermit, Spirit? I'll take that. Oh, okay. It's reversed. It's a Three of Cups. Can you please clarify the Page of Pentacles? Sorry if you hear any background noise. My brother, he plays video games and then he starts hollering quite a bit. The Moon and the Ace of Swords. And then I knew the Sun wanted to come out, but I'm not going to take that because it didn't fall out, but I did see it pop out. Bottom of the deck is the Queen of Swords. Okay, so what do people admire about you, group 1? Let's start with what is calling me most. I think that you have quite a duality to you. I feel like you can be like this really, really fun friend. Like, you say what you need to say. Like, you know, you're kind of down for anything in that sense. Like, if it's someone you trust and like, hey, will you go here with me? Like, yeah, I mean, I guess, like, sure, I don't care. That's the kind of energy you're giving off. But then you have like this mother archetype, this mature energy that's like, you can play and still be a mature person. You know, I can still have fun, but I can also make sure that everyone's being safe while we're having fun. So I think people admire that about you, that, you know, you can still like be the mom friend, but also have a fun time. But I'm gonna be going all over the place, so bear with me. I do think that you give really great advice. I think you have a lot of strong opinions. Now, bear in mind, I don't think that... So, I think people admire that you like have wonderful ideas, wonderful opinions, and great advice. But sometimes I feel like people don't always listen to you. Like, you're like, hey, I have, you know, I think this is what you should do. I think this would be best for you. And not all the time it is received well, or people just don't listen to you. And, that's their own problem. Like, not in every situation are you always going to be right. I don't know. But, to an extent, I feel like you always have someone's best interests in mind. And you're like, okay, I think this is what's best. And sometimes people don't always appreciate that. So Spirit wants you to know that you do. You do have really good advice, and you do try to offer it if asked. But sometimes I do think that you just offer it anyway, and then they ignore it, and then it ends up happening whatever you advise for them, that might go wrong, and they're like, oh my gosh, I should have listened to group 1. And you're the type, you're like, yeah, but you didn't. Yeah. You didn't listen to me. And I also think that you're really intelligent. That's another thing people admire about you. I think you're extremely, extremely intelligent, or you come across as intelligent to people, but almost in like a closeted way, if you will. You're not like outlandish with it. You're not trying to show off. You're not like, I know all my times tables. You're not like that. You just know things. Obscure things, or just information of everyday life, that where some people may lack that knowledge, about putting your car, putting the emergency brake on. How that stuff works, the process, and you enlighten people in that way, where some people just wouldn't know. And you're the friend, you're there, you have the ideas or the knowledge to provide for them. But on top of all this, I truly do think that you're mysterious to people. I feel like okay. I think that you are blunt in your own right, but I think people get confused and they're like, are they really telling me the truth? Like, you have a very mysterious energy to you, where there's that introvert side, where a lot of things, but because no one asked, you're not always going to go out of your way to express it. You know what I'm saying? You think of stuff that people wouldn't normally think of. And I think that's what's so enlightening about you. You're almost like a built-in dictionary to your friend group, if that's a thing, if you have a friend group or anything. You just know a lot of information, whether it be, spiritually or practically. You know a lot of stuff, and that's a really big thing that Spirit wants me to highlight for you. You're very knowledgeable, and I don't think you get told that enough. I don't think you get appreciated enough in that sense, that you help enlighten people's lives every day, even with mundane things. So please understand that, even at times if you feel like you are dumb, or, you don't have all the answers, you really do. And I think it's because, in a sense, you might be like clairvoyant, where you just know things. You just understand how things are. And, some people don't, they're like, wow, they don't connect the dots. Well, you do. You connect those dots for people. That's a thing that people admire about you. But I also want to, for some of you, I'm getting that you might have a unique way of dressing. You might not dress how everybody else dresses. I think you have a very unique style that is attractive. It's not like ugly. I think people find the way you dress fascinating. It might be outfits that are really particular to you. It's not like a trend or what's going around. It's just, it suits your personality so well. So when you wear outfits like that, they're like, oh yes, that really suits group 1. So that's another compliment. You dress well, or people think that you dress, your style complements your physique or appearance. What else, Spirit? I do think that people admire that you're not like this fake friend. You are not a person who can just be friends with someone for like the hell of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna lie to them or sugarcoat things. If you don't like the person, you are not gonna go out of your way to be friends with them. I think that's another thing people admire about you. You aren't afraid to cut people off who don't serve you, who aren't good for you. You're not going to waste your time, and you're not going to waste anybody else's time. You're like, you know, this is who I am. I like who I am. You know, I don't need to prove anything to anyone. If you can't get with it, then, you know, you can hit it, you know, hit the road. Yeah, you're definitely not fake. You know what I'm saying? People like how real you are. You are just authentically you. And that's beautiful. You know, a lot of the times people, and it's not a bad thing, but a lot of times people, you know, put on a mask just to, you know, keep the peace, to just, you know, try to get along with people, not try to make other people know that they don't like them or this or that or whatever. But you just stick true to how you feel. You're like, you know what, I'm not feeling you. I don't think you'd be a good friend of me. Sorry, man. Just not going to keep investing any time with you. And that's the kind of energy you give off. So people admire that about you. And I think that's another thing Spirit wants me to touch on, that people really do admire about you, is that you are okay being alone. You don't need a massive group of friends. You know, you're fine if you have one friend. You are comfortable in your own skin, in that sense of like, I don't need to have a boyfriend or girlfriend. I'm okay being alone. If I don't have any friends, well, that's okay too. If I have a bunch of friends, well, then great, I have a bunch of friends. You are okay with being by yourself. So that's really cool. It's hard to, a lot of people can't say that. A lot of people cannot. A lot of time we struggle with being alone, but you're pretty secure in yourself in that sense. And let's see, is there anything else I may be missing, Spirit? Oh, I do think that you're quite funny. And sometimes I think that your sense of humor might fly over people's heads. Like, they might not quite grasp what you said until later, when they're like laying in bed and they're thinking about the interaction they have with you, and they're like, oh my god, I don't know how I missed that. They're really witty. Like, they just think things off the top of their head and say it, and it's like so funny and so quick that a lot of the time people don't either acknowledge it or recognize it right away. Because, you know, not that they're dumb, but, you know, sometimes when you are that fast-paced, or like if you have a Gemini Mercury or whatever else, you know, you're just so quick-witted. A lot of the time it's hard for people to keep up with. But some of you might be Earth Mercuries. Okay, I think that's it for the tarot for a second. I did want to do these cards because these are really descriptive as well. Spirit, what do people admire about group 1 that they don't get told a lot, please, Spirit? What do people admire about group 1? What do friends and family and people in general admire about group 1? I do think that you have one person specific who really does treasure you. That's just a little thought. Like, you might have like a really close, good friend. Could be family member, but it's someone you feel really close to, and you're like, this person just thinks you're a treasure, thinks you are so smart and different from anyone else they've met. Can you please tell me what people admire about group 1, Spirit? This is like a beauty card. It's like someone who's abundant and attractive, but specifically they smell good. You might smell really good to people. You might get complimented on your scent, and people are like, oh wow, group 1, what are you wearing? You smell good, you know. Or you're like, I just wake up like this, and they're like, what? How? When really you have like a 16 skincare routine step, and you bathe in like lavender for 6 hours. Anyway, yes. What do people admire about group one, please, Brent? You are so raw and deep. Raw and deep. Okay, stop. This is like a depression card almost. You see in this card, in this image, she is crying in front of her bed, upset, on her knees, and you know, her significant other is outside listening to music, just chilling, having a good time, and she's inside struggling. I feel like people admire your strength, and that's so funny that we have the strength card. You're incredibly strong, and you don't always express when you are struggling. Emphasis on that. You really do try to keep it to yourself unless asked. Like if someone asks, and even then I think you kind of keep it tame. You're just like, yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling the best. And that's the thing, you're honest about it. You know, people are like, hey, how's your day going? And you're like, not so well, you know, and you just keep it matter of fact. You're like, yeah, I'm not doing it's fantastic, but you know, you kind of keep it to yourself. You have the soulmate card. A lot of people find it easy to connect to you, and but like I said, that one specific person's coming through where they really do feel strongly connected to you. They feel like you're a soulmate. I feel like that's a thing about you. You're very likable. It's not hard. This might be hard for you to believe because, you know, once again, we struggle with believing ourselves. But I do think that people naturally just like you. I don't think people always have issues with you. I think you're a likable person, and you have that attractive aura energy to you. Your soul is attractive. So people admire you for that sense that you are just easy to get along with. One more, Spirit. What do people admire about group one, please? I love this card. It's my unique card. You are very different. You're unique. It's unique / weird. You're just an oddball. A very different person. And look at the bottom of the deck. Such a dry sense of humor, a dark sense of humor. You probably have a very sick and twisted, I'm joking. I don't think you have like super scary, dark sense of humor. You probably do have a bit of a dry sense of humor, a darker sense of humor, but whatever your humor is, it is attractive to other people that they admire. I think that you are very funny to people, and I think that's the problem, is that people cannot tell with you if you are joking or if you're being serious, and I think that's what makes it even funnier. Just thinking about me and my friend. Him and I joke all the time that we love something, and I think he thinks I'm very serious about it, but a lot of the time I'm just joking, but he can't tell. And I think that's the case with you. You joke a lot, and they can't always tell if you're being serious or whatever else. But back to what I was saying, I do think that you are you're just different. And that's such an admirable trait, because you're not like everybody else. And I think that's why people like you. Because you're not the run-of-the-mill person you just meet and you're like, oh, yeah. You meet so many people in the day and a lot of them become forgettable, but you're not. You're not forgettable. You're very unforgettable. People definitely remember meeting you and having conversations with you. And that's another thing people want to compliment you on. You are hard to forget, group one. Anything else, Spirit? Oh, there's my dog. I guess not. I think that's all I needed to say. Group one, I hope you enjoyed your reading. Like and subscribe if you want to. And I hope this resonated with you. Thank you for watching. Alright, hello everyone who chose group two. This is going to be your reading. I do want to apologize if you hear any background noise. My brother plays video games, and when he plays video games, he gets worked up and yells a lot. So hopefully he won't do that. And also my dogs. My dogs are untrained and crazy. Anyway, we're going to get into what people admire about you. Like, you know, compliments you don't hear all the time. And I think that's all. Yeah. I mean, we're just going to channel whatever comes out. And then I'm going to do a quick energy check-in so you can, like, kind of be like, oh, yeah, this is my pile. If you don't resonate with it, that's okay, too. This still can be your pile, but I do want to give extra confirmation for those who are watching and chose this group, but also for myself. I like to kind of get an idea of what energy you're in and what I'm working with. So, helps me. Spirit, can you please connect me to Group 2's energy? What's their current energy? Give me a card that best represents Group 2's current energy. Please give me a card that best represents Group 2's current energy. Yeah, I've been watching Group 2. The Empress. That is awesome. This is like an abundant energy. Someone who is feeling themselves, possibly. Someone who feels more attractive, or just someone who's like really kind of like glowing up or stepping into their power. This is feminine energy. You don't have to be feminine. It's just, you know, someone who's really tapping into either nurturing energy. I don't know why nurturing energy. I'll start singing. Nurturing energy. Growing something, working on a project, stuff like that. So if you kind of have like taking the lead and being mature and beautiful and abundant and starting something or taking care of, you know, someone, you have beautiful hair or whatever else, this is you. This is a lovely energy. Anytime the Empress comes out, if it represents me, I get so excited. I'm like, oh yay, I'm in an Empress energy. It's the kind of energy you definitely want to be in. So, Spirit, let's get into what people admire about Group 2, please. What do people admire about Group 2? And what compliments do Group 2 need to hear that they don't hear enough? What do people admire about Group 2, please? What do friends and family and people admire about Group 2? Let's see. Knight of Swords. And that's so funny that this is the first card that comes out for you. The Knight of Swords for you guys. And then in the first group, it was the Knight of Wands. What's their... what do people admire about Group 2, please? Do you have a go-getter attitude? Go get 'em. Kind of fire in you. You just feel strongly about things. Probably. That's what I'm picking up. What do people admire about Group 2? What do people admire about Group 2, Spirit? The Hermit. This came out for Group 1 as well. So we're getting deep, y'all. I feel like all my pals are going to be, or all my groups are going to be very complex. That's how Group 1 was. And I can already sense that you guys are too. What do people admire about? Thank you. This came out in Group 1 as well. A lot of the same energy here. Some of you might be drawn to Group 1. I'm just going to say that. Go ahead and put that out there. But we have the Queen of Pentacles and Temperance. I'm going to take these two together because I feel like they need to go together. Because this is very, like, nurturing, balanced energy. You're really, like, almost trying to be the best version of yourself, and I think that's something people admire about you. You're stepping into your power right now, I think. That's a side note. Can you please clarify the Knight of Swords, please? In regards to what people admire about Group 2. I will take the 5 of Cups, and it is reversed. Awesome. Excuse me, let me fix my position so I can do this better. Can you please clarify the Five of Wands in regards to what people admire about her too? No. I feel like you're the type that's not afraid to say no. And that is something that people struggle with a lot. See, I saw him. He wanted to come out. King of Pentacles. Can you please clarify the Hermit, please? Oh, that's a lot. Okay. I will acknowledge. I'll take the Eight of Pentacles only, but I will acknowledge that the Magician was here and the Sun. You're a very, very, very powerful person. I just want to put that out there. People think that about you. Can you please clarify the Queen of Pentacles and the Temperance card? Ten of Wands. You've worked very hard to get where you are in life. And then the Four of Cups is a bottom deck energy. So, let's see here. What do people admire about you? Well, first of all, I feel like you're the type who just does not self-loathe. Does that make sense? I don't know why I said it like self-loathe. I don't know what to say. Okay. I don't think you're the type who is like, oh, pity party me, my life is terrible, whoa, you know, I don't think you're like that. And that's not to say that if you want to self-pity and self-loathe, I agree, there is a time and place for that. We all need to sometimes. We need to feel sorry for ourselves and, you know, be apologetic to ourselves, and that's okay. But I think you guys really are, like, you strongly dispute that. Like, you don't want to ever be seen as a victim. And I think that's the thing that people admire about you. You're like, okay, what I'm hearing is people admire you for this almost mindset of, hey, I'm just another human on this planet who struggles just as much as you do, and I'm not going to feel bad for myself about it, you know? It's that mentality of like, there are, you know, people in different countries struggling more than I am. Why am I going to sit here and cry about, you know, not getting a certain meal at the end of the day? You know, you're just like, okay, whatever, I'll make the best of it and make something else. That kind of energy, and I think that's something that people admire about you. You are not here to be like, look at me, everybody, I'm upset, I suck. You know, you're not fishing for compliments. I think that's something people admire about you. You, I would say, is optimistic, positive, with, you know, a little bit of darkness to it. You know, like a little, how do I say it? Like, I feel like you're optimistic, but not overly, like, sunshine optimistic. You're just like, let's have a good day. You know, not everything's perfect, but that's okay. We can still make it a good day. That kind of energy. But you're also not going to force someone else to have that same mindset as you. And I think that's another thing people admire about you. You are here to uplift. And if people don't want to be uplifted, then you're like, okay, well, then you can go cry in the corner by yourself. That's fine. You know, you're like, I don't care. I'm going to go do my thing. I think also people really, okay, I do want to touch on, I do think that you're very attractive. I think that you are really self-assured, and people really admire that about you. Now, whether you don't think you're that self-assured, if you still, you know, you're like, I'm insecure piece of crap, you know, that's your mindset. But what people think about you and what they admire about you, they think that you're very secure in yourself. And I think that's why you might have a lot of people maybe ask you out or pay attention to you. There's that energy in the air. With the Five of Wands, it's like competition. And then with this King of Pentacles, it's like you are like very you are on the pedestal. And so a lot of people have to fight for your attention. Think people admire your discipline and your kind of like, I don't want to overemphasize. I'm just saying, I do think that people think you're very secure in yourself, and that is very attractive to a lot of people. Now, I also do think that you're a good sport. I want to add on that with the 501s. A lot of you probably are like, you're not a sore loser. I think you're here to, if you have a challenge at work, for who can do the most sales, like you're going to actively participate that, but you're not going to cry about it if you lose. You're here for a good time. Very healthy outlook on competition in sports and stuff like that. But I do mostly think that you're very attractive, and people just want you to know that. They admire your sense of security and what you have to offer people. And so I think a lot of people might try to win your attention. But I do want to touch on this with the Hermit and the Eight of Pentacles. I think that you're very hardworking. I think you're hardworking materially, but I think that you're very hardworking on inner self. I don't know if people appreciate this enough about you, but I feel like you have, in the past, not been the best version of yourself like, anyone else in this world. That's your mindset, I feel, a lot of the time. You're like, just like everybody else. But you have worked really, really, really hard to improve yourself, to either improve your looks, your mental state, your studies, your work, whether it's something specific or all those in general. I think that you have worked extremely hard to be better in all areas of life, and people admire that about you. People see your mental growth, your physical growth, what you have been trying to improve for. It's going to be different for all of you, but whatever you have been trying and working hard on improving for yourself, people have seen that. People have seen how disciplined you've been on trying to make your life better, and people really do admire that about you. I love that it's like 9, 8, and 10 here. You have been working through perhaps a tough cycle in your life, and you weren't ever going like, oh, poor me, this is tough, I don't know if I'll be able to get through it, and I give up, And once again, I'm not trying to offend anyone. It's difficult for everyone in different ways. But you've definitely had the mentality of like, I'm not going to feel bad for myself. I'm just going to be like, yeah, this is everyday life. We have ups and downs, and I'm going to try to make the best of the situation because I want to do better for myself. And people can see that. For some of you, this is a very specific message. Some of you have been working out, eating better, trying to, this is mostly for physical. You've been trying to physically get on another level, whether it be of attractiveness or lose weight or gain weight, build muscle, whatever it is for you. People do notice your hard efforts and admire that a lot. They think that you're very, very, very attractive. So if you've been trying to become more attractive, that's another thing. But I do love that the King of Pentacles is here and the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like some of you might be in a relationship and you've been trying to not only better yourself for you, but better yourself for your partner, and help be on the same level as your partner. You want to not be on even playing fields, you know what I'm saying? But there is this energy of not letting negative things in life get you down. You're like, I have myself, but also bigger things to worry about. Like, I'm working on something that I care about, and no matter what anybody says and so forth, it's not going to matter. And I think that's another thing people admire about you. You are putting yourself first and your desires first, and people, they're not mad about it. Evidently they're not mad about it. They do admire you for that. what I want to say most is a thing that people admire you that I'm getting very strongly. I don't want to sound like a broken record here. I'm about to finish up with this and we'll go into the feeling cards to further figure out what people admire about you. But I do think that you were once not perceived in the best way possibly. This will resonate differently for everyone. But you've worked very, very hard to prove to yourself, but a lot, possibly family and other people, that you were not that same person, that you were a completely different person who is successful and beautiful and making beautiful things in this world and trying to achieve happiness. And people do admire you for that. People do see your growth. People are like, wow, Pile 2 is like gone, you know, from being a loser, not that you were, but just an example, from being a loser to like a total successful person who loves themselves and is trying to be a better version of themselves. So let's, I think I've touched on everything there. Let's get into these cards and figure out just a few other things that people admire us. This card keeps not wanting to be shuffled in, and you're getting shuffled in, girl. Spirit, what do people admire about group 2? What compliments do group 2 need to hear, Spirit? What do people admire about group 2? You guys work really, really hard, and I just want you guys to know that. I see it, Spirit sees it, and other people see it. You do work very, very hard. What do people admire about group 2? What do people admire about group 2? Okay. Okay, I won't take them all, but I will look at them real quick. I see. Look, the watching card. You have people do think you're very attractive. You have such a laissez-faire energy about you. Meaning you are just go with the flow in that sense. And I think that's what's attractive to people, because you're like, this is life, it has its ebbs and flows, and I'm just along for the ride, and I want to be cool with it. And I think people think that's very attractive about you. They're like, ugh, they're so chill and cool. I love that. Like you just show up for work every day and you're like, yep, I'm here, let's get through it, guys. And people are like, wow, very nice. What do people admire about group 2, Spirit? Yep, see, he did want to come out. So this is a cool guy card. This is someone, the subtitles say, whatever happens, happens. And he's just smoking a cigarette and he's like, yep, I'm along for the ride. You have a very cool energy about you. Chill, likable. You're not hard to like. You have another cool guy energy. So this energy this is like my secret admirer card, but this also has he has a partner in this deck. And this is someone who's very mischievous. Just a side note, you might have a secret admirer who is like fighting for your attention. I don't know. Someone who just, and it doesn't have to be romantic, someone who just really does like you and like thinks you're cool. Could be someone just as mischievous as you are. What do people admire about group 2? But I do think that you are funny. We have the depression card. It's a depression card. It's someone who has an obscure self-image. They do not see themselves as they are. And I feel like this card is representing, in the sense, it's like you don't drown in it. You know what I'm saying? And you also don't project your issues onto other people. If you're not feeling the most confident or secure in yourself, you're not, gonna project on other people, make fun of them, or, like, oh, you hate yourself, when really you hate yourself. You don't do that. You're just like, today I'm not feeling it, Can you please add on what people admire about group 2, please, Spirit? You're pretty real. You're pretty real. What do people admire about group 2, Spirit? One more card. I won't take that. It might be intuitive as well. We have, oh, see, oh my goodness. This is another secret admirer card. She's like, likes a dude, but the dude's in a relationship and she has like her papers. She's gonna confess to him. And, yeah, that did not turn out well. Bottom of the deck is making your new reality. So I think, okay, for some of you, Spirit does want me to touch on this. I don't know why this weird energy of secret admirers is coming out. You might not realize this, but some people that, with this card, some people in a friendship way do really want to be your friend and fight for your attention. You don't even realize it, possibly. I do feel like you don't, like, feel like you kind of pick up on it, but you're not like, you don't think it's a big deal. Because I feel like you have this energy of like, not everything's a big deal. So if, you know, they're pining for your attention, you're like, yeah, you know, they just want to be friends. But then there's some people who really people who really do like you a lot. So in terms of what they admire about you, you are a very likable person. And I don't think you realize that. So I think that's what Spirit wants me to explain to you, is that you're very, very likable. You have an attractive personality. You're a very cool person. And I wonder if you struggle to understand that yourself, with me having to reiterate this so many times. And that does make sense, why the Four of Cups is at the bottom here. It's like you do not recognize when people are reaching out to you and wanting to connect deeper with you. You just take it very lightly. You kind of brush it off. You're like, oh, they don't really like me that much. I'm just reading into it. It's not that, you know, it's not that serious, when really it is. There are people who very deeply want to connect with you because they admire you and they think you're really cool. They like you a lot. You have a very strong personality. Someone who doesn't take crap and is just here for a good time and is knowledgeable and attractive. I mean, what's there not to like about you? So you have people who want to connect deeper to you, or with you, I mean, and you're just like, yeah, well, sucks to suck. You know, you're like, you don't even acknowledge it. So I think that's one thing Spirit wants you to start putting yourself out there in that sense, and accepting people who, you know, hey, you want to go get a drink? Hey, group 2, I really, really like you. And you're like, haha, you know, I like you too. And they're like, no, group 2, I really, really, really like you. If you could not tell, I'm wearing a neon sign that says, I really like you, I'm practically in love with you. And you're like, haha, I love jokes, you know, very, you know, start taking things more seriously. If someone says they like you, you shouldn't probably take it as a joke. You should probably look into that. You should probably research a little bit. Anything else that I need to touch on for group 2? Yes, be proud of who you are. You're an absolutely fascinating person with a wicked personality. I think you have so much more people who really do like you than you think they do. You have so many great cards representing you. The King of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, the Temperance, the Empress. You are a fantastic person. You have everything. You know, the Magician had been wanting to come out. You were a jack of all trades. You're very cool. Please don't ever underestimate that. I think it's just, you need to embrace that and be like, yeah, I do have a lot of admirers. And you can do that without being cocky, because you do have a very humble side to you. So just say, yeah, I'm cool. I know it. Everybody wants to be my friend. Which you don't have to be their friends if you don't want to. But if you are searching for connection, I don't think it'll be hard for you to find. So, group 2, I hope you enjoyed your reading. Like and subscribe if you want to. And I will see you in another video. Alright, hello group 3. This is going to be your reading if you chose this deck. I always get excited by group 3 because I'm like, oh, it's the end of the group. And usually I'm always surprised. So can't wait to see what happens. Though the first 2 groups were also very interesting. There's a lot of unique people watching this video, so it's fun. Anyway, we are going to get into what people admire about you, as well as compliments. You know, I'm just going to channel. We're going to channel and see what comes out. And I'm going to do an energy check-in with you first. It's going to be very quick. I don't like to drag things on either, so we'll do it quickly. And this is for your benefit, you know, if, you know, you resonate with it. And if you don't have to. It's just for some of you who need extra confirmation. And also me. It helps me understand you as a person better. So, and I like to get to know people I'm reading for. So, Spirit, please connect me to group 3 and connect me to their energy. What kind of energy are they in right now, please, Spirit? What is group 3's current energy? Give me a card that best represents group 3's current energy. I saw like the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. So I wonder if you guys are in a relationship or you're fixated on someone, or you've met your soulmate or something like that. That might just be a small message for someone specifically. Please connect me to group 3's energy. And give me a card that best represents their current energy, Spirit. Alright. Group 3. Okay. Five of Pentacles reversed. Oh, and the bottom deck energy is Tower. So you guys might be in the energy of like, when I see 5 of Pentacles and 5 of Cups, I always get this kind of self-loathing and misery, almost like feeling. With the 5 of Cups specifically, it's like feeling of self-loathing and just, oh, I'm sad because, you know, my cups spilled over, but really not all of them did. And it's just like, it's a wound, you know, that they're really dragging on. But with the 5 of Pentacles, it's usually like a feeling of abandonment, feeling just insecure and alone in the world. Whether it's like financially, just not having enough money, but also a lot of the time it's feeling abandoned by a person and just feeling wounded. But with it reversed, you might be coming out of this wounded animal energy, trying to get back up on your feet. You're like, you know, this is not the end of the world. This is not the end of me. I can always make more money. I can always make better health decisions. I can always choose better friends, whatever the situation may be for you specifically. You're like, I can always do better tomorrow. Today, I might have not done great, but tomorrow I know I can do better. And I think that's your mentality right now. Even if you mess up or something just doesn't go right, it's like, it's okay. I'll start again tomorrow. So I do like that refreshing energy of, you know, you're not in this lack mentality. You're getting out of it. You're like, I don't want to be lost in the snow, you know, not seeing the bright church right beside me, welcoming me in with warmth and love. And, you know, you don't want to isolate yourself anymore. You don't want to suffer. You're just like, okay, I got to build something. I got to do better. I got to choose myself and find happiness in what I can. So that's an interesting energy that you guys are in. I hope you guys are doing okay. Pray and manifest that things do feel more secure for you. So, Spirit, what do people admire about group 3? What do people admire about group 3? What compliments do they have for group 3 that they don't always say? What do people admire about group 3? You guys are probably really strong-willed. Stubborn. What do people admire about group 3, please, Spirit? Oh, that's a lot. Should I take them all? No, I will not take them all. I will take the world, though. I think that's what they want me to take. And if the 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands wants to come out, they will. I will take into account that I saw them though. So the world is out. What do people admire about group 3, please, Spirit? That Sun card. There's a lot of things. There's so many to choose from. 3 of Swords. What do people admire about group 3, please, Spirit? The Hermits. I'll take that. The Hermit has come out in every group. That is so fun. I wonder if we are on a self-realization journey or just self-isolation. Maybe we've just been really doing our thing. Can you please tell me, what do people admire about group 3? You guys are interesting. I wonder if you guys, like I heard, oh, you're giving me a headache, but in a good way. You know, it's like you have a personality on you, is what I'm picking up. Can you please tell me, what do people admire about group 3? Knight of Pentacles. Spirit, can you clarify the world and what people admire about them in group 3? Oh my Christ. Lord of mercy. So many. Too many. We're going to do that again. What do people admire about group 3 in regards to the world card here, Spirit? So many cards keep wanting to come out, but they're, you know, and then so many do, and it's just like, the thing about me as a reader, I can't have too many cards on the table, or it starts to overcomplicate things for me. I just need it short and sweet. We have the 7 of Pentacles. Can you please clarify the 3? Okay, I'll take that. Chariot. Can you please clarify the Hermits in regards to what people admire about group 3? Take it or leave it. We'll take it. 7 of Swords. Can you please clarify the Knight of Pentacles in regards to what people admire about group 3? 4 of Cups. Bottom deck energy is the 6 of Cups. You really know how to the energy I'm getting is like you really know how to burrow your way into people's hearts. It happens really unexpectedly. Like, you know, I feel like there's this energy of people barely know you, and then they get to know you over time, and then they come to realize that, like, there is not a day that they want to live without you in their life. It's so unexpected. They didn't think that you would become someone important in their lives, and then all of a sudden you do, and when you're gone, it really stings. You know, they didn't realize. Unfortunately, I do think some people do understand your value, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful I have this person in my life. But then a lot of the time, I think you leave this person's life, whether it ends on a good note or bad note, and people realize how important you actually were, how much you made their life better, how thankful they are for knowing you. So that's the thing people admire about you. You have a personality that sticks to people. You're not easy to forget. So where do I want to start, Spirit? The Hermit and the 7 of Swords is so interesting. What? Give me a moment. I'm trying to think about this because there's very different messages I'm getting from this. We'll clarify just to make sure I'm on the right track. Please clarify the Hermit and the 7 of Swords, Spirit. Yeah, the Emperor. Okay. You are not like, what's the right word? you, you are not about to take crap from anybody. You were like, I have been through so many difficulties in life, and that you just don't care. If someone is being fake with you, or just starting business, any kind of disagreement, you are like, I'm cutting you off. I'm not gonna waste my time with you. I'm just not. And I think that's something people admire from you. I think you've grown out of that energy of letting people walk all over you, letting people take advantage of you, because the Six of Cups was there, and then we have the Six of Wands. I think you have this very, like, endearing energy. Someone who might come across as innocent, but really isn't. You know, you are more complex than that. You have battle wounds. You know what I'm saying? With the Three of Swords here, you have been through heartbreak, whether it's from friendships or family or relationships. You have been through it. You've been put through the ringer, and you're like, I'm not dealing with fake people. Like, I'm gonna choose myself in every single situation. You're testing my patience? Okay, we're done. You know, you said I was ugly? Okay, we're done. You know, you're like, friends don't joke that way. No, we're done. You don't have a lot of patience for silly games that anyone might try to play with you, and I think that's what people admire about you. You, I'm hearing, you stand on business. Like, you are protecting your peace at all costs, and I think that's something people admire about you. You also might be kind of snarky. I think you have something so deeply embedded in the way you talk that is, what's the right word? So impactful, and I feel like your words can really hurt if you want them to. I think you know what to say in the right situation to really make someone feel like crap. And I think that's, like, you know, something people do admire about you. You are able to, you know, they start acting funky with you. You're like, all right, well, we're about to get jamming in here. You know, get the disco out. We're going crazy. You know, you're about ready to lay it down on everybody. You are not going to hold back. And then the Six of Wands is at the bottom of the deck. I do think that you're also just an attractive person. For all these groups, I keep seeing that you have attractive souls and attractive personalities and looks, but you do as specifically as well. I think that you are extremely attractive, and there might be a bit of a sexiness to you. Like, I was getting such an innocent vibe with you, but you also have this dark side that I think surprises people. They don't see it coming from you. It's very unexpected. You are a dark horse, almost. Yeah, the Four of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. Kind of slow and steady wins a race. I think people truly do admire your patience. I think you're a person who has a lot of patience, and you're willing to put in the work and effort to get something that you want, and people admire that about you. And I don't think you're the type to take the easy way out. I don't think you've ever been the type to take the easy way out. I do think that you'll choose what's best for yourself, and if, like, you know, completely blocking a person instead of talking through a problem that, you know, you have with them or whatever else, some people deem that as the easy way out, and you're just like, why would I waste my breath on someone who doesn't deserve it? So, you know, it's a bit of that kind of energy. But I don't think you waste your time on silly things. I think you set your goals right in front of you. You're like, okay, this is how I'm going to get there. And someone might try to offer me this way, and this might come up and try to make me go this way. You're just like, nope, I'm steady on my course, and take your pleasantries away. I'm going to do my thing, you know? You're not easily fooled. You're not easily fooled. You see through people, and that's why you're pretty selective about who you have around you. So that's another thing people admire about you. You're a true friend, and I think that's something you don't hear a lot. You're very real with yourself and other people, and so you kind of expect the same in return. That might be a kind of mentality you have. You're like, well, if I'm honest with you, why are you not honest with me? Like, you just don't get it, right? And so when they're like acting weird and just, weird, you're like, okay, well, goodbye. I don't need it. You don't need it. And people admire that about you. You're not gonna play fake pretend, So, whereas a lot of people would just, this was so similar to group one in that sense, where people just get along with other people to kind of keep the peace, and you're like, I don't care if I make you uncomfortable. I don't like you. I don't like the way you make me feel. You give me weird vibes, and you cut them off. That's the kind of energy you have that people admire about you. You're very, very real. With the World and Seven of Pentacles. Let's see here. What people admire about you. The World and the Seven of Pentacles. What I'm hearing is you take life with a grain of salt. You take it seriously, but you're also not like, you're like, in this energy, life is life, and it's going to have its ups and downs. But I'm going to keep working towards what I'm working towards, and I'm not going to let anything throw me off my course. You have a very strong-willed energy of you. So for instance, what people admire about you is you have this, like, I'm going to be famous. That's what's destined for me. I'm going to be famous. Not all of you agree with me. A lot of you think I'm just talking to talk, but this is what I'm going to do. You know that for yourself so intuitively, so strongly. And you stick to it. You put in the effort. You're going down the path you should be going down. And I think that's something people admire about you. You're not easily thrown off course. You are steady in trying to make your life better and make your goals happen. So that's like, your work ethic is strong, but your soul is very strong. People admire the strength of your soul and what you believe in. I think you're the type who really does stand for what they believe in. You don't hold back the punches. You're not afraid to say that. You're not afraid to hurt feelings. Well, and you might not go around constantly saying, like, this is what I believe in, and if you don't agree with me, kiss my ass. You're not like that. You're just like, someone asks you, hey, do you think this is fair? And you're like, no, I don't. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, this is what you're gonna get. You're like, no, it's not. You're not afraid to express your opinions if someone asks them. And because at the end of the day, if they don't like them, you're like, well, then I don't like you. And you never speak to them again. So people admire that about you. Spirit does want me to touch on this Chariot card again. And they want me to emphasize, I don't know if you've been told this a lot or not. I guess that's why they want me to speak about it, is I think, once again, you have been through really difficult things, but you always turn it around. And I guess that's where this Five of Pentacles energy reverse is coming from. Though you may struggle, you just go, okay, all right, that sucked, but I'm going to turn this into a positive thing. I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to make the best of my situation. Might suck, where some other people, if something terrible happened to them, they, and if that's how you deal with it, that's how you deal with it. I'm not judging you, but some people might handle the problems differently, and be like, oh my gosh, my life is terrible. I don't want to live anymore. This is awful. I don't want to be like this. And you're just like, well, that was not fun, but I can't cry about it forever. I can't. I'm not going to let this haunt me forever. I want to be happy. I want to enjoy my life. I want to do certain things. And if I just cry about it all the time or be in self-pity or self-loathing, it's going to hold me back. It's not going to allow me to blossom. So you turn that energy, that negative energy or, sadness into positivity and energy and power to drive you to achieve things, to make yourself better and your life better. And lastly, they do want me to, like, this energy here. Some of you might have a cold too. That's just a confirmation for some. You are not afraid to hurt people's feelings. And I think people admire that about you. If they want the truth, they're going to come to you for it. You're going to tell them how it's supposed to be. Yeah, and I do think you have a lot of good ideas as well. But let's get into these cards. Spirit, what do people admire about group 3, please, Spirit? What do family and friends and people in general admire about group 3? What do people admire about group 3? What do people admire about group 3? I love this card so much. It says, "Don't F with my, don't F with me. Battle is near." You really do not take crap from nobody. You're not gonna let anybody waste your time. You're not gonna stand for it. And if someone does mess with you, you are about ready to come in full force, ready to take out the trash. That's what people admire about you. So this is like a kind of crush energy. You might be well, one, just, cute and attractive. There's this innocent vibes once again. It's not, I think what people admire about you is you are very easy to fall for. You're an easy person to crush on. You just have so many admirable traits about you. Your strength, your discipline, your what's it called, your willpower, the way you talk. You have so many, and once again, you're attractive. You have so many interesting and what some would say difficult, but others would say funny and amazing qualities about you. And so I think it's easy to crush on you. People are like, "Oh wow, group 3 is like cute. Group 3 is funny. They're cool. They're cool. Group 3 is cool." And then you get kind of flustered. You're like, hee 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 hee. Sensitive feelings. Okay, so what I'm hearing for some of you, like, you can handle the jokes, you can handle anyone being mean or whatever else, but when it starts getting a little flirty, starts getting a little romantic, you're like, ooh, get a little flustered. You might have that energy about you to an extent. That also people find cute. Spirit, what do people admire about group 3? Yep. That forbidden love card. You are very attractive. And what I'm getting is, like, some of you probably, like, make friends with people, and then you, like, friend zone them, or you become, like, really good friends with people, and then they end up liking you, and they don't know what to do. Like, like I was saying before, you worm your way into people's hearts, and they don't really, like, worm your way. You just naturally fall into people's lives and their hearts, and they don't realize how much they like you, and then all of a sudden they wake up one day and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I really, really like group 3. I love them. I have a crush on them." And it is so unexpected. Like, it's not that it's unexpected, like, "Oh, I could never fall for group 3. It's just like it hits them, like a ton of bricks. And then they're like, "What do I do? Like, does group 3 even like me?" You're like a turtle. You have a hard shell, soft inside. You move slow and steady. You're getting where you need to go, and you're just, like, not gonna let anyone throw you off your route. You're gonna get someone or somehow roll back over and back on where you're supposed to go. And so it's like people almost, and I think, your friends, these people who do, like, realize their feelings for you, they're like, group 3 has been through so much. They've been through, like, heartbreak or difficulties in their family and their life, and it's like, would they even want to deal with me as a partner? Like, would I be good enough for group 3? It's that kind of energy. Also, some of you might have really kissable lips. That's another thing. But you're very attractive in the romance world. People do want to date you romantically. I feel like sometimes too, in a sense, that people might build you up and put you on a pedestal and project, but that's a whole different conversation that we are not going to get into. Spirit, what do people admire about group 3, please? Oh, I love that this card came out because it's a fake card. It's the like she'll eat you alive type of card, and I love that it's like with the 7 of Swords over here. Gosh, you're a, I don't say baddie, you know. I'll just say it. You're cool. And then the bottom deck energy is like this is an abundance card and a beauty card and like you smell good card. So you are with this shark energy. So this can be interpreted in different ways. That's why I love these picture cards, because based on the reading I can interpret how it is. Sometimes when I see this card, I interpret it as fake, you know, someone's being fake. But when in your pile, you are tough. You're a tough person. And your walls might be hard to break through. And I think that's something people admire, that you're not always the easiest to read in that sense. And someone says something snappy, you snap right back. You're like, what'd you say? You give it right back. You match energy. But people admire that while you can have this tough and like snarky kind of outside image, you have an actually sweet inside image. You know, you are actually a sweet, loving, tender person on the inside. And only people who are, you know, good friends with you, people who are important, get to see that kind, giving, understanding energy. They see the person who wants to help and nurture. And, you know, I'm hearing that you probably have like the most beautiful smile. And that's like, I think with the forbidden love and then the crush energy, people like, they don't see past your mask right away. They're just like, you know, this person is not going to take crap from anybody, and they're chill, and you know, if you're rude to them, they're going to be rude to you. But when they get to know you more, they realize that you're a lot softer, and that you do have feelings, and that you have been through stuff. And that's why you don't want to put up with anyone else's crap. You're like, I already have enough on my plate. I don't need your stuff. And so people realize that you do have this sweet side to you. And that's another thing people admire. So Spirit, is there anything else I need to touch on? I keep looking at the 6 of Wands. I think you're a lot more attractive than you realize. I want to say that. You probably have a lot more admirers than you realize. You know, people who... And I feel like that's the thing. You don't get complimented a lot. I think that's the problem here. You, out of all the groups, you especially, I don't think get complimented enough. And so, you're this great, beautiful person. And that's what I was saying before. People might project on you. People might think you already know you're attractive, or, you know, they might even be so much as jealous and not want to tell you that. You have a very, very attractive look, but personality. And it really enriches people. So Spirit does want me to tell you that you're very attractive, and that might be hard for you to fully understand, because you might feel like you don't get a lot of compliments, or people don't tell you all the time that they like you, but they do. I think the bridge that's in the way, in a sense, is trying to get past your tougher exterior and get to know you on a deeper level. And not a lot of people get past that bridge, because you guard it so well. You're just like, you really check people out. and you're like, are you worth my time? You're not. Goodbye. You don't get to know all the beautiful and super sweet parts of me, because I'm not going to waste my time letting you see that and then you take advantage of that and ruin me. So people do admire your strength and your ability to just go, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to put on a fake show and, you know, just let people think certain things about me. Like, this is who I am, and if I don't like you, I don't like you, and if you like me, that's great. Maybe we can get to know each other more on your terms. Anyway, group 3, I hope you enjoyed the reading. Like and subscribe if you want to, and I hope to see you in another video.